Are you noticing more families leaving UK cities and wondering why it's happening at record levels? You might be surprised. This isn't just about expensive housing. From rising crime rates and constant commuting stress to concerns about health, schools, and community, city life is pushing families toward towns and rural areas like never before. In this video, we'll uncover 10 powerful reasons driving this massive migration and reveal what urban living really costs families today. Stick around, because some of these reasons might completely change the way you see city life and what a better future could look like. Number 10. Cost of living pressures. The rising cost of living is one of the most powerful reasons families are leaving UK cities. Urban areas, particularly London, Manchester, and Birmingham, are notorious for high housing prices, expensive utilities, and steep childcare costs. According to the Office for National Statistics, average rents in city centres have increased far faster than wages over the past decade, putting enormous pressure on household budgets. Families are finding that even dual-income households struggle to maintain a comfortable standard of living while covering rent, bills, and essential expenses. Relocating to smaller towns or rural areas offers a practical solution: larger homes, lower costs, and more disposable income for daily needs or family activities. Housing affordability is a particularly pressing issue. In cities, families often settle for smaller apartments, sacrificing outdoor space and privacy simply to remain close to work and schools. By contrast, suburban and rural properties frequently offer gardens, additional bedrooms, and safer neighbourhoods at a fraction of the cost. This financial relief is not only about immediate savings, it also allows families to invest in long-term goals such as education, health, or personal development. The contrast between cramped city living and spacious, affordable alternatives is stark, creating a compelling incentive for families to move. Beyond housing, everyday expenses such as groceries, transportation, and leisure activities are noticeably higher in urban centres. Families report that relocating to lower-cost areas reduces stress and improves overall quality of life. They gain freedom to enjoy recreational activities, travel, and experiences that city budgets often restrict. The economic pressure of city living acts as a constant background strain, prompting many households to prioritize financial security over urban convenience. In essence, families are choosing not only where they live, but also how they live, seeking environments where money stretches further, stress is lower, and the focus can shift from mere survival to a fulfilling, balanced lifestyle. Number 9. Transportation and commuting stress. Lengthy and stressful commutes are a growing reason families are leaving UK cities. Urban congestion, crowded public transport, and unpredictable traffic create daily stress that affects both parents and children. Studies from Transport for London and the Office for National Statistics show that the average city commuter spends over 70 minutes a day travelling, with high stress levels linked to anxiety, fatigue, and reduced family time. Parents report that long commutes limit opportunities to prepare meals, help with homework, or engage in meaningful family interactions. The desire to reclaim this lost time is driving families to relocate to areas where commuting is shorter, more predictable, or optional due to remote work. Beyond stress, urban commuting carries significant financial costs. Rising fuel prices, public transport fares, and parking fees add up quickly, especially for households with multiple working adults or school-aged children. Moving to towns or suburban areas often reduces these costs dramatically, while improving quality of life. Families can spend less time in traffic and more time together, enjoying meals, outdoor activities, or even hobbies that were previously squeezed out by commuting demands. For many, this economic benefit combines with lifestyle improvements to make relocation a compelling choice. Imagine replacing the daily rush hour crush with a short drive, or even a walk to work and school. Families envision mornings without chaos, evenings with energy, and weekends fully free for family time. The mental load of urban commuting is no longer seen as an acceptable trade-off for city amenities. Families are re-evaluating what convenience truly means, often concluding that access to quiet, accessible areas far outweighs proximity to urban offices or entertainment hubs. By choosing locations with easier travel, families reduce stress, increase safety, and reclaim the time and energy needed to nurture relationships and well-being. Number 8. Pollution and environmental quality. The decline in environmental quality is increasingly motivating families to leave UK cities. Urban areas, with their heavy traffic, industrial activity, and dense housing, often struggle with air and noise pollution. Research from the World Health Organization shows that prolonged exposure to polluted air can contribute to respiratory issues, cardiovascular problems, and even developmental delays in children. Parents are acutely aware of these risks and are seeking cleaner environments where their families can breathe freely and live healthier lives. The contrast between smog-filled streets and open countryside is not just aesthetic, it's a clear factor affecting long-term health. Noise pollution adds another layer to urban stress. Constant traffic, construction, and nightlife create a persistent sensory overload, which studies link to higher stress levels, sleep disruption, and lower overall mental well-being. Families in cities often struggle to find quiet spaces for children to play or for adults to relax, which can erode quality of life over time. Moving to suburban or rural areas offers a noticeable reduction in daily stressors, allowing families to enjoy peaceful mornings, calm evenings, and more restful nights. The opportunity to live in areas with cleaner air and quieter surroundings becomes a compelling reason to relocate, particularly when coupled with more affordable housing and better access to nature. Beyond immediate health impacts, environmental quality also influences lifestyle. Families moving out of cities report more opportunities for outdoor activities, from hiking and cycling to gardening and community sports. Children grow up with green spaces as part of daily life, and adults experience the benefits of regular exposure to nature, including improved mood and reduced anxiety. The urban environment, in contrast, often limits these opportunities. Families are increasingly weighing the long-term effects of pollution when deciding where to live, making clean air, quiet streets, and natural surroundings a top priority. The environmental factor is no longer secondary. It has become central to family migration trends across the UK. Number 7. Community and social bonds. For many families, the search for stronger community and social bonds is becoming a major reason to leave UK cities. Urban life, while bustling, can often feel isolating, with high population density yet limited meaningful connections. Surveys from the Joseph Rowntree Foundation indicate that city residents report lower feelings of belonging and social cohesion compared to those in smaller towns or rural areas. Parents frequently describe their experiences of juggling work, school runs, and commuting, leaving little time to build lasting relationships with neighbours. This lack of a supportive community can weigh heavily when raising children, prompting families to consider locations where social networks and neighbourhood ties are stronger. Smaller towns and villages often offer a sense of interconnectedness that cities struggle to provide. Families moving to these areas find that local schools, parks, and community centres naturally foster friendships between children and adults alike. Neighbours tend to know each other, look out for one another, and participate in local events, creating a nurturing environment that supports child development and family well-being. Research links strong social bonds to improved mental health, resilience in times of stress, and better overall happiness. For parents, this creates a clear contrast: urban convenience versus community connection. More and more households are choosing the latter. Imagine your children growing up in a neighbourhood where friends' parents are part of the community. Local events are abundant, and support is just a door away. The sense of belonging cannot be overstated. It shapes childhood memories, builds safety networks, and strengthens family ties. Families increasingly view city living as transactional, proximity to jobs, schools, and services, while small-town life feels relational, offering both practical support and emotional benefits. This shift is redefining what families value most in where they live. The desire for meaningful social bonds is becoming a decisive factor in choosing a home, prompting a wave of migration from the crowded, impersonal streets of cities to welcoming communities where connection thrives. Number 6. Safety concerns. Another powerful driver behind families leaving cities is the growing worry over safety concerns. In several major UK urban centres, incidents of knife crime, burglary, and antisocial behaviour have risen over the past decade, creating anxiety for parents raising young children. Reports from the Metropolitan Police and other regional forces show that certain city boroughs consistently record higher crime rates compared to suburban or rural areas. For many households, the fear of late-night disturbances, vandalism, or violent incidents overshadows the cultural and economic benefits of city living. Parents increasingly view relocation not just as a financial move, but as a protective measure to ensure their children can grow up in secure surroundings. Safety, once assumed to be the cost of urban opportunity, is now becoming a key reason families are choosing to leave. The impact of crime extends beyond statistics. It shapes daily life. Families in high-crime neighbourhoods often restrict their children's freedom, limiting outdoor play or evening activities. Studies link these restrictions to reduced social development and heightened stress among young people. On the other hand, surveys of families who move into rural or small-town communities show a sense of greater trust and freedom, where children can walk to school, ride bicycles, or play in local parks without constant supervision. This difference creates a tangible improvement in quality of life. The contrast between feeling confined in an urban setting versus enjoying open community spaces plays a critical role in family decision-making. Picture the choice: living in an area where you must always look over your shoulder, or moving somewhere your children can explore without constant worry. For many, the answer is clear. Families are prioritizing peace of mind, even if it means longer commutes or fewer entertainment options. The rise in urban crime has highlighted the fragile balance between opportunity and safety, and more households are deciding that security comes first. By seeking out calmer, lower crime environments, families are reshaping migration trends and redefining what a good place to live really means. Number 5. Health and well-being. A growing number of families are leaving UK cities because of the direct impact urban life has on health and well-being. Cities are often associated with higher levels of air pollution, noise, and stress, all of which affect both adults and children. Studies from Public Health England have shown that living near heavy traffic or industrial zones can increase the risk of respiratory illnesses and mental health problems. For parents, the decision to move away is often rooted in a desire to provide cleaner air, safer play areas, and a calmer environment. The lure of quiet streets, open fields, and access to outdoor activities makes the move feel less like an escape and more like an upgrade in lifestyle. Families are beginning to see relocation as a health investment rather than simply a financial choice. Beyond physical health, there is a significant mental dimension. Research highlights that people with greater access to green space report lower levels of anxiety and depression. In crowded cities, limited exposure to nature can intensify feelings of isolation, especially for parents juggling work and childcare demands. By moving to towns or countryside settings, families often find they can spend more time outdoors, walking, cycling, or gardening, without the constant backdrop of noise and congestion. This shift brings measurable benefits: lower stress, better sleep, and improved family relationships. For children in particular, playing outdoors is linked to stronger development of motor skills and creativity. The urban environment, by contrast, restricts these opportunities. Imagine the difference between raising children surrounded by traffic fumes versus raising them with daily access to parks, forests, or coastal paths. That contrast captures why many families are making the leap. The pursuit of well-being has become a central motivator, equal in importance to affordability or housing size. Families no longer see health as a separate issue from where they live. It is intertwined. The desire for cleaner, safer, and healthier living conditions is transforming migration patterns, pushing more households to seek out areas where wellness is built into the environment itself. Number 4. Better schools outside cities. For many parents, the pursuit of better schools is a decisive reason for leaving large UK cities. Education is often at the heart of family decisions, and studies show that many rural and suburban areas consistently achieve higher Ofsted ratings than inner-city counterparts. Smaller towns often provide schools with lower pupil-to-teacher ratios, stronger community support, and more stable learning environments. Parents seeking academic success and safer surroundings are increasingly willing to trade the prestige of city living for the promise of quality education. The idea of moving to secure a child's future is not new, but it has intensified as competition for good schools in urban areas becomes fiercer each year. Urban families frequently face long waiting lists for desirable schools, with many parents caught in the stressful lottery of catchment areas. Reports indicate that property prices near high-performing schools in cities can be inflated by tens of thousands of pounds, creating a double burden: the cost of housing plus the uncertainty of securing admission. By contrast, suburban and rural regions often offer more straightforward access to excellent schools without such intense financial or bureaucratic pressure. Parents quickly realize that by relocating, they not only gain larger homes, but also improve their children's chances at academic achievement and well-being. For many, this is an investment in both present quality of life and long-term opportunity. Consider the appeal of a child walking to a nearby school surrounded by green space, rather than commuting across congested city streets. Families describe the difference as transformative: less stress, more time together, and a stronger sense of belonging. This pursuit of better schools reflects a broader shift in values, where parents are no longer willing to compromise their children's future for the conveniences of city life. The education gap between urban and non-urban areas is shaping migration patterns just as much as economics. When families choose to move, they are not only securing homes, but also laying the foundations for brighter futures. Number 3. Work from home revolution. The work from home revolution has transformed how families think about where they live. Once, proximity to offices in London, Manchester, or Birmingham dictated housing choices, but that reality has shifted dramatically. Surveys by major employment groups show that a significant share of UK workers continue with hybrid or fully remote roles, long after pandemic restrictions ended. This newfound flexibility means that living close to a city centre is no longer essential. Families now prioritise larger, more affordable homes in quieter regions, while still maintaining careers that previously anchored them to urban cores. The idea of enduring high rents and cramped conditions just to shave minutes off a commute is losing appeal rapidly. Research highlights that remote work not only reduces costs but also improves work-life balance, especially for parents. With fewer hours spent travelling, families can reclaim valuable time for school runs, meals together, and personal activities. In addition, avoiding long commutes saves substantial money on fuel, parking, or expensive train fares, which have risen consistently above inflation in recent years. For many households, this combination of time and financial savings outweighs the traditional benefits of urban living. Employers are also recognizing that productivity does not necessarily fall when staff are based outside the city, further encouraging this cultural shift. Families who once felt bound to urban housing markets now see freedom to choose environments that better suit their needs. This change sparks a compelling question. If your job allows you to work from anywhere, why not live somewhere that supports your family's health and happiness? For many, the answer is clear. By leaving the city, they secure homes with gardens, access to nature, and reduce stress, while still participating fully in the digital economy. The remote work era has effectively unlocked a new geography of opportunity, where lifestyle quality can finally outrank postcode prestige. Families are no longer asking how close they can live to the office, they are asking how far they can go to create the life they want. Number 2. Housing shortages and overcrowding. One of the strongest push factors driving families out of UK cities is the housing shortage paired with worsening overcrowding. Demand for suitable family homes has far outstripped supply, especially in places like London, Bristol and Leeds, where population growth and limited land availability collide. According to housing market reports, the number of affordable homes built each year falls dramatically short of government targets, leaving families competing fiercely for limited options. This often forces them into smaller, unsuitable flats or multi-family arrangements, where privacy and comfort are compromised. For parents raising children, the lack of adequate space becomes more than an inconvenience, it becomes a barrier to healthy development and daily well-being. The crisis is worsened by escalating rental demand, with landlords able to increase prices sharply due to scarcity. Research shows that in certain city boroughs, average rents have surged over 20% within a single year, a pace far beyond wage growth. This imbalance leaves families vulnerable, often spending more than a third of their income on housing alone, while still enduring cramped and poorly maintained properties. Overcrowded living conditions are linked to higher stress, weaker academic performance in children, and even increased risk of illness. With these pressures mounting, many families realize that relocating to commuter towns or rural areas offers not only bigger homes but also more breathing room for everyday life. When families discover that a move just 20 or 30 miles outside a city can provide a larger home with a garden at the same monthly cost, the decision becomes easier to justify. Parents see the chance for children to have their own rooms, play safely outdoors, and enjoy a quieter environment. Overcrowding, once tolerated as the price of city convenience, is now viewed as an unnecessary sacrifice. By leaving cities, families are effectively choosing dignity and quality of life over urban congestion. The shortage of affordable family housing is more than a temporary squeeze. It is a structural issue reshaping the map of where people want to live in the UK. Number 1. Soaring cost of living. The soaring cost of living has become one of the most pressing reasons families are leaving UK cities. Over the past decade, major urban centres like London, Manchester and Birmingham have seen property prices and rent rise far beyond the average household income. According to recent ONS data, housing in large cities now consumes a disproportionate share of family budgets, leaving little room for essentials such as food, childcare and transport. Urban families often find themselves paying a premium for cramped flats with limited outdoor space, while similar or larger homes in smaller towns can be nearly 40% cheaper. This financial strain is driving many parents to reconsider whether the prestige of city living is worth the constant economic pressure. When everyday expenses keep climbing while wages stagnate, families naturally look for alternatives that promise relief. Adding to the challenge is the surge in energy bills and grocery costs, which hit city dwellers harder due to higher base prices and the hidden costs of commuting or parking. Studies show that urban households often pay more for basic services, from childcare to council tax, compared with families in rural regions. The lifestyle once marketed as convenient and modern now feels increasingly unsustainable for middle-income families. Parents balancing mortgages, childcare fees and inflation are being forced to make difficult choices about whether to stay in urban centers. These financial calculations have triggered a significant migration towards suburban areas and smaller market towns, where day-to-day living is both more affordable and less stressful. This shift raises an important question. If families can find better value, larger homes, and lower bills outside the city, why remain tied to the urban squeeze? The truth is, the pandemic and subsequent economic downturn accelerated a trend already underway. Many households now see relocating as not only financially beneficial, but also as an investment in long-term stability. With greater affordability in housing and everyday needs, families are buying space for their children, opportunities for savings, and a healthier balance between work and life. The urban cost crisis is no longer just about housing, it's reshaping where families choose to plant their roots. The movement of families away from UK cities is more than just a trend. It's a reflection of changing priorities, values, and lifestyles. From the urgent need for better schools and safer neighbourhoods, to the pursuit of health, community, and financial stability, families are redefining what it means to live well. Cities may offer jobs, entertainment, and convenience, but they often come with hidden costs, stress, pollution, high living expenses, and limited space that push households to seek greener, quieter, and more supportive environments. By understanding these 10 powerful reasons, we gain insight into the decisions shaping communities across the UK and why quality of life is increasingly outweighing proximity to city lights. Every choice families make reflects a deep desire to protect their children, their health, and their peace of mind. Whether it's access to nature, safer streets, or a stronger sense of community, the drive to relocate is rooted in the universal pursuit of well-being and opportunity. These stories are not just statistics, they are real families making thoughtful, transformative decisions about where and how to live. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you considered moving, or do you prefer city life? Drop your experiences in the comments below. And if you want more eye-opening insights, check out our previous video. We put hours of research and effort into creating these videos, so please support us by subscribing. It's just one click, and it helps us keep bringing valuable content your way. Watch our previous video for more insights. Support our channel by subscribing. It's just one click and helps us create more content like this.